Hey guys, how are you? For those of you who haven't listened to me before or don't know who I am, just quickly let you know that my name is Harriet McGuigan and I'm Harriet McGuigan Mindset. I help really talented entrepreneurs that are dramatically underperforming, sometimes due to fear or false beliefs, and I help you get laser focused. I work on changing your mindset. I change your mindset and I help you start making the money that you deserve to make fast so you can keep serving. And we've never needed more social entrepreneurs than now. So we're in complete turmoil in some ways in the world, and there's a lot of uncertainty. And it comes back again. I was just listening to Edith Edgar today. What can we do in our patch? How are you minding your own business? Because often when we're overwhelmed, we start, we're looking at social media, we're looking at all the chaos, and hours and hours are going by and we haven't tended to our business. So I posted this evening about what I was going to be talking about, and it isn't your business, some of the stuff that you're doing. Honestly, be serious. All of you listening now, some of the stuff you've done today hasn't been your business. Sometimes people haven't even asked you and you've been meddling. We all do it. So this isn't about beating anyone up or beating yourself up, but be real. There is stuff that you've done today that hasn't been your business. Like, in a way, people posting online about the government or about young people in relation to, there was an incident in Killarney. I don't work for the government, so it's not my business to post about how the young people were behaving last night or COVID. That isn't my business. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, I feel overwhelmed at times, but it's not my business. It's not my business to share that on social media, or it's not your business. That's not going to get young people on board. 100%. It's the child in you that does that, forgetting that you were once a teenager. The way we get teenagers on board is that we model that. I was at a match this evening and the referee, a children's match, and the referee was screaming his head off at the match at the other team's coach. And watching on, I felt, oh my God, okay, these are children, we're trying to model this. And it wasn't my business to give that referee feedback, or it wasn't my business to give the coach feedback. My business was to take a breath and just realize that there's so many things out of my control in the world, like there's so many things out of your control. But don't use that as an excuse to not move on in your business, because sometimes you're using it as an excuse. And okay, I'm giving you a bit of a lecture, but sometimes we need to hear that. And sometimes even when we're spiritual and we've amazing ideas, we need to hear that, because we're blaming COVID and the government and our children and, victim mode, our mother-in-law, I said our goldfish, our dog. And it's like, yes, we're all busy and we're all juggling. But if you really, really look beyond all of that and actually wrote down how many tasks did you do today that were your business, because it's like, even in terms of being entrepreneurs, it is a lot. It's a lot of juggling. But if you break it down, it's like, how much of my day did I tend to what I needed to do to move myself forward for what I'm passionate about? If I realize I'm riddled with fear, have I linked in with my mentor? Have I linked in with my accountability buddy? Have I contacted Enterprise Ireland? Have I contacted Network Ireland? Have I contacted someone, or am I just drowning in it? Because again, we've never needed more social entrepreneurs that are going to create change. So, sometimes we get so caught up with what people will think that we forget that that isn't our business. It's not your business, actually, what people think about you. What your business is, if you've got an amazing idea and you're not putting 100% into it, or you're not even putting 90, you're not even putting 10% into it, then it's your business to start working on, how am I going to get that message out there so that I can help people with the problems that they need solved. So it's not even about you. And then you're getting bitter and envious with people who are progressing. And, you know, someone posted during the week, you've no idea how hard some of those people work to get the rewards that they're getting. Nobody becomes successful in business, in life, without putting in hard work. So don't come back to yourself and say you're a failure if you haven't put it in. And any of you perfectionists listening, perfectionists are the main culprits of not even putting the effort in to see whether you're going to get results or not. It's, in my opinion, a hidden disability. It's a complete curse to be a perfectionist, because life isn't perfect. We know that with COVID, we know that with nature, you know, we know all that. But when we're perfectionists, it's like, but I need to be perfect. And it's not good for your business to be perfect. It's hard to work with you. It's hard to engage with you if you're trying to get your website created. So if you're really struggling in your perfectionism, then try and be humble enough to get support, or else you'll just stay stuck. I just spent 2 days on an amazing retreat, and the average age of a lot of the people were like 77 and 78. So don't use the excuse of your age either. You know, it's like there's so much that you can use of why you're here. And the reason you're depressed, or the reason that you're struggling with depression, or why you're here, is because you're not doing what you're meant to do here. And it's like you need to get over yourself, and I'm saying that kindly, but you need to get over your thoughts. You need to get over this message that you've been given about women at a certain stage stop, or, oh, I didn't get 590 points in my leaving cert. Hi, Eileen. I see Eileen's watching. So it's like all these ideas are stopping you from doing what you're needing to do. And I want you to, when I finish chatting tonight, I want you to spend 10 minutes. You spend 10 minutes looking at journal.ie, looking at the teenagers, looking at all the numbers in relation to COVID. You know, you've spent all day doing all of that. And I want you to spend 10 minutes planning how are you going to spend your Monday. Even break it down to your Monday morning if it overwhelms you. And anyone can do that, okay? And I want you to look seriously of writing it down, because often if you don't write it down, then you're just whiling away the hours, and then you're fighting with kids who come home from school because you haven't used your day productively. Again, I'm thinking of people who might be really struggling. It's like, get support. There's so much out there. Love yourself enough to get support, to invest in yourself. Again. I listened to Dr. Edith Edgar today, a survivor of the Holocaust. She wrote her first book at 90, What's Your Excuse? Please, it's so important, if there's that spark in you, to get support to keep that flame growing. It's like, get shelter. Surround yourself with the right people. Look at your social media feed. Look at what you're watching. You're choosing to watch that. You're not a kid. So if you're watching really negative stuff, I found my page is normally very positive, but today it was a bit bombarded with negative posts. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, I need to step away from this, or I might need to unfollow some things that aren't supportive. But if you're running a business and you're posting stuff that's very negative and critical, of course that has an impact in your abundance. I don't like being around negative people, and your customers don't like being around that part that you need to work on. Your hatred of men, your issue with the government, pushing whatever you're pushing, because remembering all these government figures and all these people that you're criticizing are humans. They're not perfect, but it's like the witch hunt that happened. I didn't really follow the whole thing, but I know there was mayhem in relation to golfing and dinners. But behind it all, from my mindset perspective and my spiritual perspective, it was like, who can throw the first stone? Remember that when Jesus in the Bible said to all the people that were pointing at Mary Magdalene, okay, who wants to throw the first stone? And it's like all of us have that part. Like we're like a mob. We love to catch people when they're down. But maybe just get busy on your own business. Get busy on, have you put 100%, and stop, get better rather than bitter. Because again, it's to remember that huge idea you have. You know, if fear is what's holding you back, please get help about that, because what you're trying to pass on has never, ever been more needed. And we're in a massive time of change. As women, as men, as esteemed guests, anyone listening, you know deep down that you're not using fully your potential of why you're here. Yes, you're human and you trip up and your critic goes over and over. Like if you actually documented how critical you are of yourself, today I was noticing it come in and come in. It'll change the goalposts all the time. So you're never going to get it right in terms of that critical voice, ever. And when you're posting the negative stuff on social media, that is from your critic. There's different ways of expressing stuff. I'm not saying it's okay how the golfers behaved with the government. I'm not saying it's okay about that guy driving through a lockdown area in Kildare. I'm not saying it's okay with what the teenagers did, but I know I've been a teenager and I know there's a high possibility that I would have been in the middle of that 25, 30 years ago and not really thinking of the whole COVID thing, because that's what teenagers do. And I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm just asking you to think about the bigger picture. It hasn't been easy for them at the moment. Their whole life has changed in terms of nightclubs and, you know, youth clubs, and everything is really different. And interestingly, the more we kind of try and step into their shoes and empathize with them, we've more of a chance of getting them on board. Otherwise, it's just a complete battle. And what we most want, we won't get. Them being on our high horse that we're amazing and we're so perfect. Again, throwing the stone. So for anyone listening that really feels frustrated about how you are wasting your time, I can help you with that. I'll give you a roadmap so that you will push past your fears, start getting strategic, start taking yourself seriously. When your business starts progressing, your whole life will start progressing, because it's all a microcosm of your whole way you're living. At the moment, I have a 30-minute call that you can get on with me. We'll schedule it in and we'll look together at how we can bring you forward so that we lift that depressed feeling, that frustration, and that you can start skipping in your life. You know, someone posted just before I came on about, I'm going to commit to making the best life I can make. Again, we come back to Edith Edgar, we come back to Maya Angelou, we come back to Nelson Mandela, these people that walked this earth too before us, that lived in extreme circumstances and showed that they fed the compassion, the abundance instead of the bitterness. So for anyone who knows you're getting a bit bitter, all of us are there. All of us are there at times because we're human. But if you're feeling riddled with bitterness and you're blaming everyone else besides looking at your part, then give me a call and we'll look at how you can move on to having more peace in your life and know that you've given 100%, because you're not at the moment. You're not. You're just using excuses, and it's such a waste. And how can we expect the younger generation to be motivated if we're procrastinating and shoving everything down by food or alcohol or all these things that are keeping you in your lower self? Trying to think, is there anything else? Remember the 10 minutes of organizing tonight how you're going to spend tomorrow. Don't step into Monday. Believe me, I've done that for years. Totally not in that space now, but I've done that of just whiling away the hours. Don't live through your children. Don't live through your employees. Don't live through all your meddling. Start minding your own business, and I promise you, your whole world will change. And interestingly, your relationships will change. Your money will grow. Thank you so much for listening live, or those of you that listen back. My email is mindfulpeeps@gmail.com. I'll be on again during the week, and I wish you all a really productive week. And ironically, for those perfectionists listening, the more you start doing, the less strength your critic and your perfectionist will have. It'll be nearly like, okay, you proved me wrong. You have to fight against that voice. Thanks for listening, guys. Don't think I have any comments, and I will be speaking to you during the week.